When Fortnite launched the Rick and Morty collab, they added this backpack. But did you know it was completely censored? When you check out the description, it says, get your stuff together, get it all together, and put it in a backpack. But here's what actually happened in the show.
Get your together, get it all together, and put it in a backpack. All your so it's together.
Here are 25 times Fortnite censored things, and I was surprised to see Beyonce got the same treatment. You see, when Eminem took over the Icon radio, it became obvious they would cut out all the swear words. But then his song with Beyonce started playing.
I know.
In the original song, they mentioned Jesus, and yet this was totally missing from Fortnite's version. No one knows why this had to be muted. And the censors get even more hidden with the Street Fighter collab. When bringing Cammy to the game, fans noticed that she looked a little different. Throughout the original games, she has always been known for wearing a leotard. It's her whole thing. But when Epic translated this into a Fortnite skin, they gave her leggings to make her outfit a little less revealing, and I could see this one making sense for sure. What about the time that fans forced Epic to remove censorship? Well, when Doja Cat got an emote for Paint the Town Red, a huge part of the chorus was missing. Yeah, they censored the word devil, probably for the same reason they got rid of Jesus in the Eminem song. But fans weren't happy about this one. To be fair, it is an important part of the song and the emote, with players begging Epic to revert this. And they listened. Within a few weeks, the full emote was revealed. Kinda crazy that devil got uncensored and not Jesus. Now what if I told you that even book characters aren't safe from Epic censorship? When they added Kelsier from Mistborn, this is the first time he was ever brought to life beyond the page, and so nobody noticed he was missing a vital item on his belt. In Fortnite, you can see that he carries around vials of slurp juice, but in the books, he's described as carrying metal in an alcohol solution. Now there's not a chance Epic would add that to his skin, and let's be honest, only the most dedicated of fans noticed. But everyone could tell the Mortal Kombat crossover would be toned down. I mean, it's not like Epic could add the most brutal game of all time without some censorship. So when Sub-Zero joined the game, his back bling was a frozen version of his classic fatality, like the only way they can make this family friendly. That's not all. While using Sub-Zero's mythic, it has plenty of Easter eggs with sound effects. Except, instead of saying the word fatality, they went with
flawless victory.
We're also about to get Scorpion's mythic item, and while it looks insane, we all know get over here, it's meant to be a brutal attack. Some fans think this just doesn't hit the same with Fortnite's lack of blood. Now we have companies like Disney truly seeing Fortnite as the future of the metaverse, but when you're dealing with such a family-friendly company, you're gonna need to make some sacrifices. That's why, when the Disney game mode comes out, some of your favorite characters are gonna be restricted. On one hand, we'll probably be able to play as iconic skins like Snow White, Peter Pan, Mickey Mouse, but on the other hand, Epic has said certain characters won't be able to use guns. That means you could rule a ton of them out from ever appearing in Battle Royale. Sorry, Mickey.
Oh boy.
At least we can play as our favorite musicians like Travis Scott, except I don't have to tell you that he's become a super rare outfit. Now I'm not here to show how Travis's skin never came back, but it's his emote that nobody talks about. They released an Out West dance that had the worst timing ever, because it was basically at the same time as the Astroworld tragedy. This caused Epic to immediately pull the emote from the item shop, and it didn't return until years later. Now, what about when Epic has to censor themselves? It turns out they've made some very embarrassing mistakes, like when the Chapter 5 map had the worst road layout in Fortnite history. At this train crossing, it made an unfortunate shape that I can't even show you. And as soon as fans pointed this out, we logged in a week later and noticed the map was secretly changed. This is one of those censors on the list that I'm actually glad to see happen. I guess even big mouth characters like Bender could talk too much, because at one point his NPC would say things like, I could feel I could bend Girderzilla, and oh thank God I'm still alive. Well, at least he used to, because both of these lines were removed from the game. I guess they wanted to avoid teasing the Godzilla collab, or maybe they were worried about copyright, but as for the other line, well, they censored Jesus earlier, so I guess this is a continuation of that. Someone who is even more R-rated than Bender is Leatherface. I mean, they straight up added a mass murderer into Fortnite. What could go wrong here? Well, obviously it was for Halloween, but they still had to tone him down. In the Fortnite Mares trailer, you could actually see Leatherface with a blood-stained apron, and then when he released just a few days later, the apron was squeaky clean. They could have just pretended this was pumpkin juice or something, but that's not all. His mask was also not made of leather, despite it literally being his name. If you were playing Fortnite during Chapter 3 though, it was impossible to avoid the huge Ukraine situation. Epic dropped a war season at the worst time possible, so they ended up donating hundreds of millions of dollars to charities. This also means they had to censor this emote. The Russian around dance was based on the Rasputin remix that went viral that year, but Fortnite didn't want to have anything to do with Russia, so they just pulled it from the shop. Perhaps the strangest example of hiding stuff is when Fortnite censored themselves. Back in 2018, this sign sat at the pool center for years without changes. There was no diving, no weapons, no alcohol, and absolutely no fun. It was a pretty simple joke. But then when the sign finally returned in Fortnite OG, players noticed it was completely changed. Now there was just one simple rule: no diving. So does that technically mean weapons and alcohol are allowed in the pool now? And we all know that LEGO's introduction caused thousands of skins to be censored. But what people don't talk about is how LEGO's audio is even crazier. Sure, Fortnite bleeps swear words, but in the LEGO mode, they go further. Words like dang are bleeped in monkey mosh, and emotes like pull up and lo-fi headbang have been mostly muted. Speaking of emotes, Eminem's Slim Shady dance has been designed to lip sync the song while rapping. It looks really cool until you decide to use this on literally any other skin. Only Slim Shady gets to use the full emote while all the others are censored, no lip sync at all. So what caused all of this censorship? Well, really the first time we saw this was in the Chinese version of Fortnite. It was a totally separate game designed to follow China's gaming laws, and as a result, it caused a lot of weird stuff. For example, Skull Trooper was totally banned as an outfit. Nobody was allowed to earn it. For such an iconic skin, seeing this missing in China was crazy, and that's because showing skulls is considered taboo in the country and would be offensive to some players. It's also why Crackshot's skull style was censored, because instead of removing it, they straight up changed his face. Said he just looked like a white pumpkin or something. It's pretty funny. Gets even more hilarious with Mystique's back bling. It's not like you could redesign this one, right? Well, yeah, they literally turned it into a ball, and this caused so many jokes when it happened. Then Fortnite started changing entire Battle Pass skins. Eternal Voyager's face was covered up in China, but I will say they handled it pretty cool, and they designed an entirely new robot face instead. So as you can see, sometimes Fortnite goes above and beyond to make sure they don't offend players. In fact, they have censored the tiniest pieces of your favorite collabs. Stranger Things blew everyone away with a sudden 11 bundle, but her back bling had an insane secret. It was 11's diorama from the show, except instead of Hopper's police car, they censored it, and that's part of their long-running ban of cop cars in Battle Royale. Now, if you thought their insane symbol from the train crossing was bad, it's not even the first time Epic has accidentally referenced it. When the Rue outfit came out all those years ago, fans immediately drew comparisons between her and the infamous group that I can't say because of YouTube demonetization, the people from World War II, okay? While Rue wasn't publicly censored after this, Epic secretly blacklisted her from ever appearing in the item shop again, even telling creators she could not be a part of their locker bundles. Another good piece of censorship is how Fortnite secretly changed Godzilla. The first time he was teased in the Chapter 6 trailer, the roar sounded weird. Nothing is more synonymous with Godzilla than his infamous roar, and yet it was nowhere to be found in the trailer. Fans were worried, but luckily, when he finally released, the original was swapped out for the classic sound. What about when they censor features just for being annoying? I'm not kidding, there was no law or offense these caused, yet one day Epic decided to automatically turn off confrontational emotes. For all players, they have to go into the menu and choose to show dances like take the L and laugh it up. Otherwise, they are completely hidden from people. That's literally just because they can make you rage quit. Although I think we could all agree that this fish stick emote definitely was a little sus to stay in the game. Yeah, people were blindsided by this and thought, what did he just say? So in a few days, Epic had already re-recorded the song, and now it sounds like this. If you never tuned in to one of Fortnite's most famous concert events, you might not realize that most of them are censored when they get uploaded to YouTube. Like here we have Ariana Grande's Rift Tour, where Epic accidentally forgot to bleep a curse word in the song. When the encore events happened, along with the YouTube re-upload, it was now censored. A nice treat for the true OGs who actually showed up to the first concert. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.